Very good. Now you can see my screen. Will have to make me presenter. Thank you. Okay, Venkat. So you can put yourself on mute, guys. And in case if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask question. Okay. Okay, so let me introduce myself first, Venkat, because we didn't get chance to introduce each other. So my name is Kashif. I have around 9 years of experience in IT field. I have taken like more than 300 batches so far on SCCM. I am not only a trainer, but I am a working professional as well. I am working as a level 3 system administrator in one of the US-based company here in Mumbai. I have other expertise as well apart from SCCM. Like I have worked on Azure, Citrix, VMware, application packaging, Active Directory. So these are the core expertise I have, and I am a certified trainer as well. And I have done other certification like Azure certification, certification in SCOM and SCCM. And I am an IT graduate from Mumbai University. And yeah, that's about me. I would like you to introduce yourself and give me a little bit background about yourself and what is your IT background and what are you looking for? What is your expectation out of this training?
Thanks. Thanks for giving the.
You can unmute yourself and speak.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for giving the breaking introduction for your side. So,
there, Venkat?
Are you hearing? Hello?
Yeah, Venkat.
Yeah, some.
Have you?
Yeah, I will be there. Okay. So my name is Venkat Raj. Actually, around 15 plus years of experience in IT. I finished the BTech engineering. So I worked in various domains in IT sites from the networking and then the project management. So now I am working as a Spectre's infrastructure consultant, taking the infrastructure projects for the lead lines and the payload circuits, routing and everything. So now I jumping to the Windows and Linux sides. So my role is now changing to previously I take the project for the infrastructure. Before that, I worked in Microsoft taking the SAP consultant. So we need to take the SAP projects to the factories for mobile manufacturing factories to the India and China. So now my new role is as assigned for this Windows and Linux administrations project to hand over to me. So I'm new for this Windows and Linux circuits. So I want to know this how the deployment is happening because everything now is coming to the picture in SCCM. So how the deployment and patch pushings. So how the assets management are doing the to SCCM. Those details, how the migration is happening from SCCM. So those things I need to learn because next month onwards, I'm taking the new role of the project management level from the Windows-based sites. That's all I joined.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for your brief introduction and your expectation out of this training. Very good. So, understood that you are from IT background. You have a huge experience as well, and you have worked on multiple platforms. So it will be easier for you to understand the technology, and I'll help you in terms of all the uh, how SCCM works and how we deploy it, how we implement it, and how we use this how can we use this in terms of deployment of application, patching, operating system deployment, asset management, all those things. So let's get started then. You can.
I have one more question on this one.
Yeah.
In the SCCM, you can possible to the migrations of desktop operating system Windows 7 to Windows 8 or 10 something. In it,
Yes,
the
yes,
option.
yes. That migration is possible. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will show you the theory part. Okay. Also, I'll take you to the configuration part, how we can migrate it. But practically, we cannot do it because of the hardware limitation. Okay. But
Okay.
I'll take you through step by step how to go about it with the in-place upgrade or migrate.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that we will be discussing when we touch the operating system deployment.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can put yourself on mute again, and we will go start with this session. Okay. So Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager is a product of Microsoft, and we are going to study SCCM 1606. SCCM 1606 or 2012, both are almost the same, a little bit enhanced feature Microsoft has added in 1606. Some more features they have added, but the technology and the concept is everything all similar. The deployment method, application deployment or patching or deployment of operating system, all same. Okay. Now, what is, let me take this. Yeah. What do we have in SCCM? So we have central administration side, primary side, and secondary side. These are the three sites in SCCM. Okay. These are the three sites in SCCM. Central administration site is central administration site comes into the picture when we have more than 400,000 devices to manage. And when you have more than one primary site in your infrastructure, like Wipro, which has more than 200,000 devices in their company all over the globe. So they have a central administration site, multiple primary site, and multiple secondary site. In the same fashion, primary site is the core of SCCM. Without primary, you cannot go ahead with SCCM. Primary has to be there. Okay. You may or may not have central administration site. You may or may not have a secondary site, but primary has to be there. Primary is needed when you have more than when you have a less than 100,000 devices. One primary site is capable of handling 100,000 devices. Then you have secondary. Secondary site is needed when you have branch offices. Let's say your head office is in New York and your branch office is in um, multiple location, London, Budapest, Mumbai, and you have to manage the devices on those locations. So you need to put secondary site at those locations. Now I'll draw a diagram to make you understand this properly. Suppose you are in New York And in New York, there are 80,000 devices in one building. You are in HCL, and in one building, all 80,000 devices are there, and you need to manage all the devices here. What you do, you put a primary site here. Okay, you put a primary site here, and that primary site will be capable enough to handle all the devices. But suppose your business is expanded to London, to Budapest, to Hyderabad, to Mumbai, and all these locations has devices. Like some has 5,000 devices, some has 2,000 devices, some has 1,000 devices. What you do, you create secondary site on these locations, and those secondary site will be reporting to the primary site. Clear? Now, in case your company is getting more bigger, okay, it is getting even more bigger, and you have crossed the limit from 1,000 100,000 devices to 150,000 devices. So what you do, you create one more primary site server here. Okay. So primary site 1, and you also have some branch offices like Chennai, Delhi, and all those secondary sites are reporting to this primary site. But the moment you add a new primary site, we added new primary site here, right? We only had this primary site, but we crossed the limit of 100,000 devices, and we had to add one more primary site. The moment you add a new primary site, you need a site which should manage both the primary sites. So you need a central administration site here on the top, and these two primary sites will be reporting to this central administration site. Clear? So, so this one is site is like Windows Server, and on that Windows Server you install SCCM to manage your sites, whether it's CAS and primary. It's like Windows Server, and that is running your SCCM is running on that. Now in SCCM, these are the sites which we discussed. 3 sites: central, primary, secondary. In SCCM we have sites and site roles. Now we will be talking about site roles. So management point, that is one of the site roles in SCCM. What does management point do? Management point is like your SCCM server is here, and you have multiple devices. Okay.
Sorry for the interrupt. I have one question on that. If you configure the primary site or secondary site or central site, so any options will be available to configure, or how the changes will be that the primary site, secondary, how we configure?
Sorry, if you have configured central, primary, secondary?
No. Yeah, if I'm in the primary site, so I'm putting one more primary site, how we'll need to configure primary. This server as a primary site server, this site server as a secondary site server.
Yeah, so during the installation of SCCM,
there are options will be there.
Yes. During the installation of SCCM, you have an option to whether you go with primary site or central administration site.
Oh, okay.
Clear?
So individual primary sites and secondary sites are individual database, or is it the common database?
Primary site has individual database, and central administration side will also have a database, and they will
Okay.
take the data. They will take the data from all the primary site and keep it in its own database.
Oh, okay.
Secondary side does not have any database. Secondary side writes its data to the same database where its primary site is writing. It uses the same database of the primary site. Clear?
Okay. Please go ahead.
So SCCM is there, server is there, and you have like multiple devices, thousands and thousands of devices, right? Now, in order to communicate to this SCCM server, you need to have a management point. So devices will connect to your SCCM server using management point. So this circle is a management point which helps you to make a connection between SCCM server and the devices. So it works as management point works as a communication bridge. Clear? It does the policy deployment. It does the collects the data of the devices. All things, whatever the communication happens from the management point. That's the communication bridge between the devices and the server. Now, that is the management point we talked about. Now we'll discuss about distribution point. Distribution point is like a Walmart. When you need your stuff, you go to Walmart and get it, right? Same thing is for devices. Okay. Device needs any file or any application like Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or Office. Device will go to the distribution point. So these are the devices. Okay. And you have a SCCM server. You put your distribution point here. Distribution point contains all your application, software update, and operating system files here. Any device needs anything, they take it from here, distribution point. So that is the distribution point which we just talked about. Then we have software update point. SUP, software update point for patching. This is your SCCM server. This is your WSUS server, and this one is your Microsoft update server. Okay, so SCCM cannot directly go to Microsoft update server to bring the patches. SCCM has to go to WSUS, and WSUS will go to Microsoft update server. So SCCM uses software update point. So you have your software update point here. This is your software update point, which integrates with WSUS, and WSUS goes to Microsoft update server and bring the patches back to SCCM. Clear? And that is how you can do patching. You can make sure your computers are compliant. Then you have reporting services point. Reporting services point is to get your reports from database. You integrate your database reporting services point in SCCM so that you can get your you can get your reports, query the database from SCCM console and get your data as and when you require it. Then you have endpoint protection point. You can also deploy antivirus to all the computers and from SCCM, something like this. I have AVG here. You have in SCCM, you get endpoint protection. When you purchase the license of SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager license, you get endpoint protection license free with that. Okay, that comes with the combo pack, so you can deploy endpoint protection to your organization to make your computers safe and secure from virus. Then you have service connection point. Service connection point is to manage your mobile devices and bring latest update of SCCM. Whatever the updates are there of SCCM Microsoft is releasing, those updates will be coming up if you install this role, service connection point. And you can also do mobile device management. Suppose you have SCCM here and you need to have this role installed somewhere here, and using this role you can manage your Android, iPhone, iPad and Windows Phone Windows mobile devices. Clear? So we talked about service connection point. Now point number 7. This is one of the roles, SMS provider. SMS provider is an agent between SCCM and database. So the left side one, this one is your SCCM and this one is your database. Now SMS provider sits in between. This is your SMS provider, which sits in between database and SCCM. If whatever the things SCCM wants to put it in the database, it sends to the SMS provider, and SMS provider sends it to the database. So it is like a postman in between SCCM and database. These are the two roles, application catalog website point and web service point, to create a self-service portal for the user. You create a website for the user, and that website, www.internalappstore.com, like Google Play Store or Apple App Store, that website will have all common application. You can publish your common application for the user. User can go to this website and download the application in their computer themselves, whatever you publish it from SCCM. This is like a self-service portal you can create using those two roles. Then you have a state migration point. State migration point is, for example, you have Windows 7 here, and you are migrating that Windows 7 computer to Windows 10, upgrading it, right? So what you do, you capture the current setting, user setting, network setting on state migration point, save it on a location, and then when you have the new upgraded system, for example, you migrated from Windows 7 to Windows 10 now. So the setting which was saved in a state migration point, that will be moved back to Windows 10. That is called state migration point. Clear? Then you have fallback status point. Now you have your primary site server here. You have your secondary site server here. You have your secondary site here. Okay. Now, in case this secondary site is down, okay. Now the devices the devices, for example, you have thousands of devices here, okay, for this secondary site. Now these devices were connecting to the secondary site, but it is not connecting to the secondary site anymore because the secondary site is down. So it will look for fallback status point where it is installed. Either it is installed here, or the primary site server. So after checking this for multiple times, if it is still not accessible, then it will go to the primary site server to get the data, get the policy. So that is called alternate method of communication. We call it fallback status point. Clear? Any questions so far in this roles, SCCM roles?
Yeah, in summon point number 7, SCCM provider, it's a middleware or it's a service to running in this?
Middleware.
Oh, okay. Point number 11 again, fallback status point. If your primary site is down, how the connection will go? It will be automatically change the second, one more primary site. If you have two primary sites, if primary site is down, it will switch over like secondary site. How switching over this second?
No. It is not like load balancing thing. It is like Prime Minister and Member of Parliament. So Prime Minister will be there in Delhi, right? And Member of Parliament will be on the field in district, right? So Prime Minister is also working, giving the instruction to MPs, and MP is also working, but both the time. Okay. So in case Prime Minister is MP is not available, then that the people can approach to the Prime Minister. That's called fallback status point.
Okay. The endpoint is the primary site only, it's not moving to the central administrator, right?
No. Central administration side does not manage any device. Device management is done by the primary site and secondary side only.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So we talked about distribution software fallback. Yes, we talked about all the site and site roles. Now, why we need SCCM? What is the benefit of SCCM? That's the question here, right? So it's like this kind of hierarchy: central administration site, and then multiple primary site and secondary site. Now, why we need SCCM? That's the question, right? What all things you can perform if you have SCCM? So you have asset management in SCCM. You can do hardware and software inventory of your devices and what all software installed in your devices all over the globe. What all hardware present in your company. You can do asset management using SCCM. Asset intelligence, like what you can do with asset intelligence, like you can check the usage of application, how many people are using one particular set of application, and categorization of application. You can do categorization like Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari, they come into browser family, right? So that's how they can categorize. Software metering you can do. You can check how many people are using one particular licensed application in 1 month. How many number of what is the number of time user used it, for how long in the entire month. They will give you the details of all licensed application. Then remote management using SCCM, you can remote into your computers. SCCM will help you to remote into your computers. Deployment. SCCM is basically a deployment tool. Using SCCM, you can deploy application, you can deploy software updates, you can do operating system deployment, operating system migration, all those things you can perform using SCCM. Also, you can do SCCM content. SCCM also does the content management. So content management, like it does the space optimization. It does not do duplicate effort. It validates, rather than copying it, it checks, validate it. If it is already present, if the file is already present, it will not copy again. Okay, so those are the things it performs. Compliance set management. So using SCCM, you can set a baseline that my computer should have this level of patch, and if the computer is failing in the baseline compliance check, then give me the report of all non-compliant computers. So SCCM is capable to find out all compliant and non-compliant computers and give you the report. Power management. Suppose after 7 o'clock in the evening, no one is present in the office, and the office has around 5,000 computers. So you probably can do some power management, okay? Like reduce the power consumption during non-peak hours, turn off the monitor, put the computer in sleep mode, something like that. Client health. SCCM keeps on. SCCM is like basically a server and client based technology. So it checks the client. If the client is not healthy, it will give you a list of unhealthy clients, and it will repair them. Okay, make sure the clients are properly communicating to the server. Reporting, very much important. It gives you a very good report in PDF or Excel or CSV format. Monitoring, it keeps on monitoring the component of SCCM, distribution point, management point, the database, replication, all those things are properly working or not. It gives you a proper monitoring dashboard. Okay. Security. Role-based administration. Role-based means, for example, you are good with patching, application patching. I will give you software update role. So you do not have access to any other role in SCCM. If you are good with application deployment, I'll give you application deployment role only. You do not have access to any other thing. NAP, network access protection. Network access protection is like when the computer is failed in compliance check, the computer is non-compliant, then NAP, what NAP does is NAP removes the computer from the open regular VLAN network to a restricted VLAN network, so that it is not prone to be spreading the vulnerability what it has to other computers. So whatever the vulnerability non-compliant computer has, it will stop right there if you remove it from the network and put it on a restricted network. Then you have endpoint protection. Endpoint protection we already talked about. That's the antivirus. Using SCCM, you can put antivirus in all the computers. Make sure your computers are safe from virus. Also, you have mobile device management in SCCM. Using mobile device management, you can manage your Android, iPhone, Windows phone. integrate that mobile device management with SCCM. So basically, you are managing your mobile devices from SCCM as well. Clear? Any question?
Yeah. In the software merging, it only for view the software how the license is utilized. So otherwise you can control also in the software licenses. For
Software
example,
metering, right?
if having 10 license only having from this application, so more than 10 it not able to log in, or we can control or only you can view that.
No. Controlling part is not there. It is only for the reporting part.
Reporting.
Yeah. Controlling part, basically that is the how the license is defined. For example, Adobe license. So if you log into more than 2 computers using the same Adobe ID for a product, then automatically you will be logged off from one of the computers. Other 2 computers, you will not be able to use that.
Yeah, okay.
So that comes with the app base. It is basically application feature, not the SCCM.
Okay. See, in the deployment side, if some patches are deployed in the client pushed early, so here something problem happen in the client side for the if the patch is not working with that, not matching with the application, it is possible to revert back.
If the deployment is not happen properly,
Yeah.
yeah, you can revert back, uninstall.
You need to do in the client computer, right? It's not able to do in the server side.
Suppose you deployed Google Chrome.
Okay.
Okay. Then you want to roll it back, right? Is that your
Yeah.
question?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, you can do that. From
Okay.
SCCM itself, you deploy the application, and then if you found some issue, you can roll it back.
Okay. What feature is added for the new version compared to 16.01?
New version, which one? The
In the SCCM
current?
current version.
Give me one.
Some new features is added from the existing one.
Okay. So previously in SCCM 2012, you did not have flexibility to add a primary site server to a central administration site later. Once the hierarchy is defined, you cannot add it later. But now you have the flexibility, even though you have you started with one primary site server, but later you found no, I need one more primary site server. So you can do that, but previously it was not there. Okay. The other thing, mobile device management was not there, MDM. Okay. And this in-place upgrade was not there. Like if you have to, the previous SCCM, you have to install the whole SCCM parallelly. Okay, the new version. If you compare with 2007 and 2012. Hello?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So that was parallelly build and then do the migration. But now you can easily upgrade your SCCM from the previous version to the newer version with just few clicks. Okay. In the console itself, you will get update available. You just right click, install it. Okay. So those are the things.
Sorry, what is the mobile device management? What do you do in that role? Hello?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, mobile device management. What is the role of mobile device management in the SCCM?
using mobile device management, you can manage your mobile devices. Like you can remotely wipe your device. You can send policies like camera cannot be accessed by the user. User cannot access Bluetooth. Okay, and user cannot choose his own password. Rather, we will give instruction something like 8-character password, one special character, one number has to be there.
Okay.
So those are the policies you can use, you can deploy. And suppose the user lost his device, you can remotely wipe it off, factory reset of the device.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So we discussed about the theoretical part of SCCM. We discussed about sites and site roles. Now, tomorrow we'll start with the practical. We'll start with the installation of servers. Okay, installation of all the roles and database, everything. Clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Any confusion?
No, as of now, it's everything good.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining the session. I hope the session was informative. We'll meet again, probably same time, and tomorrow. And we will send you a new link, not this one. This has some issues. Okay.
Okay.
To join the session. Okay.
Tomorrow, say Sunday is okay for you?
Yeah. I don't have any problem. Morning is fine for me.
Oh, okay. Same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.